welcome back to the channel, to the stream, to the program. Today, hope the audio issues have been resolved. I worked extensively on fixing them since last stream, and by that I mean I rebooted my computer, so I'm hoping everything is working out okay. Thanks for joining me either way, whether that's here on Twitch or if you're watching this later on YouTube. Appreciate the support. Today, the board in question is a GMMK Pro, as if you couldn't already tell by the title of the stream. This is a client build we will be putting together today. No soldering required for this bad boy, but we are trying to tune this to sound excellent. So we'll probably be trying different things. I know there's lots of like screw configurations and things of that nature that can be adjusted to try to make this board sound good. It is a GMMK Pro in slate black, I think is what it's called, black slate with novelties creams. We're replacing the goat stabs with the Durock V2 stabs, and we'll be doing sound tests with SA Dream Meter because the client will be using SA profile keycaps. So having said that, let us bring out our boy. It's another, you've seen this before, the GMMK Pro. Good branding, nice packaging. I like this label. I posted it on my story, so yeah, that is what we'll be looking at today. So I do like their packaging, but this is kind of a no frills type of thing, but nice orange and black. It does come with extra gaskets, which I will probably be using, and then we will not be using these. I'll leave them here for the client, the keycap puller and the switch puller. So let us put these away. Here's the board itself, which is, again, it's a nice hefty board. I do like it. I'm a fan of my GMMK Pro, and there she is. This did have the switches pre-installed. I pulled them out to lube them, and they are in this bag here. So we will be installing them later, but first we need to open this up, pull some screws out, probably pull the foam out, or some of the foam, pull the stabs out, and replace those. We will see how much spudging needs to be done, given the fact that I have heard that with the aluminum plate we're going with today, there tends to be some stickage with the Durock stabs, but we'll find out. So for now, let's get cracking. I did check to make sure that the screwdriver tip is correct. Last time I was trying to use a Phillips head on a hex screw, and it doesn't come across as super intelligent when you do that. So let me check the audio real quick, just because I'm a bit paranoid from last stream. So let's put these, before I do that, let me get a spot for these screws. There we go. All right, Twitch. If you hear some birds, don't worry. The window's open, it's hot in here. All right, cool. Audio sounds mucho better. Here. I don't know what was going on last week. I still think it had to do with my chia plotting, but I don't know. It's easier to blame everything in your life on chia, isn't it? All right. There's all those. We've already pulled the knob off. That got to me once before. I couldn't get the top plate off one time when I opened one of these, and it's just because the knob holds the top plate on. Sneaky. This This pad that I'm putting the screws on is also magnetic, which is nice. Alright, I think that screw is released. And I think it's just not coming out because the gasket's pushed up on the underside here. So we will flip this over. There we go, caught the screw. All right, so now we will lift this top plate off. We will come back to that. And this assembly just lifts off. There is a daughter board. We'll need to pull the cable off on that. Okay, so here is our PCB mount. Also, this is the gasket mount plate style. So we will be beefing up those gaskets with the included extras. So let me check. I was sent some reference videos from the client on some ideas. What's up? How's it going, Grayson? Doxing my boy out here. All right. So I think as far as foam goes, we are going to be probably removing the foam between the plate and the yes, PCB foam, no case foam. Okay, we'll try that first. Only 4 corner case screws too. Okay, so there's a lot of tricks to this board that people have been trying where it's like, leave these screws in, take these screws out, yada yada. We will try not having this foam in, but including the foam between the PCB and the plate. We'll see how that works. We will also not be using these 2 screws in the middle because they are really not necessary to hold the plate on. Actually, none of the screws are strictly necessary. Well, I guess it's hot swappable, but the switches should hold the plate on. There shouldn't be any issues with that. So technically none of these screws are strictly necessary. But yeah, anyways, we will we'll be replacing the gaskets or adding to them really with the additional ones. So for now, let's just pull apart this plate assembly and then swap out the stabilizers, because that's the part I'm most concerned about. I'm worried that they are going to be too tight and we'll have to either shave down the stabilizers or try to make the slots bigger or something. I'm not really sure, but either way, these 2 standoffs and these 2 screws we will not be replacing in an effort to give the deck a touch more flex. So that's the plan. Okay. I believe all these screws are the same size, but some of them go into the polycarbonate diffusers on the sides of the assembly, and some of them don't, so I'll keep those separate. You can also tell by the head, the round head screws go on the top and bottom, and the flat head screws go into the polycarbonate, but yeah, these are a bit longer, so we'll keep them a little separate. Grayson, do you have a Spire membership now, or are you just kind of an opportunistic climber? Because I renewed mine, so just saying. If you want to climb with me, let me know. One last screw. I'm gonna be honest. Cool, sounds good. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know why Glorious decided to make their own stabilizers and hot swap sockets. I mean, I don't know. It feels like kind of. I am a keyboard dentist. That's funny. Yes, I am. This is like, I don't know. This little screwdriver is so dumb in concept, right? Because you're just, why do you need a motor for that? But it's actually really convenient to not have to like twist your hand to, I don't know. What a first world solution to a first world problem, but it's kind of nice. All right, so we're gonna pull the stabilizers off of this and put on the new ones. Now, with these screws I will not need because I'm using the screws that came with the Durock stabs. I will bag these up and send them back in a parts kit with the keyboard so that the client has everything that they started with, but yeah, these are going to be obsolete. I don't know. I lubed them on the last build I did, but I just felt like Durock stabs would have been better, so. Also, if you hear what sounds to be like an alien spaceship taking off in the background, it's my dryer, or possibly my washer. I think it's the washer making that horrible noise, so I apologize for that. But in exciting news, and potentially between 2 and 3 months from now, I'll be in a new house, and my stream room will be much further from the laundry room, and noisy neighbors, so there should be no more issues there, or at least less. No more is kind of a overly optimistic statement to make. So here are our Durock stabs. I did already lube these, and I also did the Holy mod, is what it's called. Basically, you just take a little piece of Band-Aid. Where did that go? That was like a magic trick. One of the little O-rings just disappeared. I'll find it. Or I'll replace it, because I got a bunch. That was weird. Alright, so we'll put all the old stabs and the screws back in here. And we will, and also actually, I'll put these screws and these standoffs that we won't be using back in here. What on earth happened to that little thing? Did you guys see that? I need like an instant replay. Where did it go? Or am I crazy and it wasn't in there in the first place? It's one of these little red discs. What? Huh. Does one of these bags have more than 2? Did I drop it on the floor? Well, I will grab another one from my bag. Oh, yes it is. It's stuck to the bottom of it. Thank you. Great detective work. Here, there's a lot of like oil on the this PCB. We're gonna wipe that off. I'm also gonna put down some tape where the stabs will go. That should cushion them a little bit. That should help with noise suppression. The name of the game is making these keycaps and switches sing. However that happens. Oh, this is a pre-torn piece. cut this guy up and then little pieces underneath. It's one of those things where it's like you can do so much. Every like little bit of effort gets you like 1% closer, but it all adds up, you know, even if one feels insignificant once you get everything all told. All right, so there's the backspace. Now do the enter. Then we just have the spacebar and the shift. This, as it's a 75%, the right shift is shorter, meaning it does not need a stab because it's under 2 units long. Oops, got kind of scuffed. There we go. All right, then we'll do the space bar. Now this PCB is one layout and one layout only, so it's kind of I mean, it makes sense. It's the case. It comes with the case, comes with everything. It's not really designed to support multiple layouts, but because of that, it doesn't support European layouts and it doesn't support alternate spacebar sizes or anything like that. But I actually am not 100% sure if Glorious even made an ISO version of this board, now that I think about it, because the PCB and the plate and the case actually don't support that layout. So they must, if there is one, it would have to be an alternate variant. So, okay, we have our tape down. Now I'm going to clip in the spacebar stab, and then I think before we proceed, I will actually attempt to put the plate on just to see how well that works out. But for now, let's get the screw. Let's put this little ring. This ring is just to prevent the metal of the screw from interfering at all with any traces on the PCB. The goat stabs that came installed on this board did not have these rings, and the funny thing is you can buy goat stabs separately, but when you do that, they come with metal rings, which is hilarious because it's like they knew that high quality stabilizers came with them, but they didn't know why. So they were like, oh, we'll make a premium one, but it defeats the entire purpose if it's metal. So I don't know, I just think that's kind of funny. But anywho, we will install the shift stabilizer next. Actually, no, I said I was going to attempt to test, like, dry fit the plate. So let's do that first. And yes, indeed, it is as I had heard and as we feared. However, it seems like, at least when there's only one stab installed, you can kind of manhandle the plate a little bit. You can body it and get it to go down. So I'm wondering, let's try out the space bar. Yeah, buddy. Let's try out the space bar real quick, and good to see you, duck. We'll evaluate its performance, because I do see, and maybe I can show you in a close up here, a little bit. It is pushing the stabs in like this way and this way just a touch. So I don't know if that's going to adversely affect their performance when there's travel involved. They're gonna feel a little bit sluggish or not. Interesting. They do feel a bit that way. It might, so here's the other thing. We are using the Holy mod, which is a stabilizer mod that's relatively new, where you put a little piece of cloth band-aid inside the stabilizer housing to kind of absorb the motion of the or like take up the slack, right? That's what causes noise, is when there's less than tight tolerances between plastic and metal or plastic and plastic, and so the band-aid takes up a little bit of that slack. However, I do know that it needs to be broken in a bit, and I actually know that on Novelty's cream switches, which is what we're using today, they just need to be broken in general. Despite the fact that they're lubed, they still, in my opinion, are kind of scratchy, and it just takes a minute for them to feel 100%. So, having said all that, I think that we're doing okay. Hey, what's up, Bird Toast? Good to see you. I think we're doing okay. I will install another stabilizer or two, and we'll see if just bodying this plate allows it to function properly. Now this might be interesting, actually removing the plate. Let me pry on it a little bit. I need to be very careful here so as not to damage it, but wow, it is unyielding, and I do not want to scratch this PCB. It would be terrible to scrape a trace. It's not the end of the world. You can recover from that. However, it's less than ideal. Boy, these are very, very tight tolerances though. So let me get a flat blade. I'll be right back. Okay. We will attempt, and I'm gonna go between the foam and the PCB, or foam and the plate, because I really want to avoid the PCB. But just, there we go. Just a little bit of spudging just to get it off. What this tells me is that if and when we get this on without like shaving down the sides of the stabilizers, it's probably not coming back off. So that'll be something to keep in mind, especially given if we want to keep this foam here or not. If we don't want to keep the foam, we may be able to tear it out from around it. So we should probably start with it in, because that's a lot easier than trying to wiggle it in, you know, post-mortem, if you will. So I'm going to install a few more stabs. To be honest, I might just install all the rest of them and then try to get the plate on. And if it goes on, it probably ain't coming off. So that'll be the way it is. We're gonna full send it. Yes. How's it going, Bird Toast? What you up to today? Whoa. All right. Like I said, it feels a little bit posh to be a little bit like upper crust or pretentious to be using an electric screwdriver, but it does really help when you have to hold things still. Nice, right on. That's cool. Taking a bit of a break. I am going to be taking a bit of a vacation, staycation next week. So TBD if I will be streaming then, because I will be here. It's just whether or not I want to actually stream. But that'll be really nice. It's been a minute since I've had a vacation. Okay, 2 stabs. Well, really 3, but let's get this last one in. I believe these acrylic diffusers can be installed after the plate is back on, but before the screws go in. So I will slip them in after I get the plate on, if I get the plate on. No, it's not, which is actually convenient because it doesn't have a clutch or anything, but it when the screwdriver whips out, that's usually tight enough. So it's nice because it never really over tightens things, and if I need it even tighter, I can just not. It's locked when it's off, so I can just twist it, which is it's nice. It's convenient. Like I said, it's very first world, but its wimpiness is to its advantage, in a sense. Okay, that is 4 stabilizers installed. Let us see if we can manage to get this on. Alright, the foam is down. Ooh. I think it'll go. But like I said, it's if it does come off, it's not going to be easy. But we are indeed full sending it. Not bad. I just need to get this encoder lined up. Interesting. The encoder does not quite want to line up, and I think the plate actually needs to scoot up relative to the PCB. There we go. It's a little bit more. That is a lot of force. However, I think we're there. Pretty much. Let me just give it one more little tweak with the screwdriver, so we can get the encoder through, and then make sure that everything is flush, or as flush as it can be. Like I said, if we do need to remove this case foam, we're gonna have to tear it out, but that's all right. That's better than being stuck without it and wanting to have it back in. So okay, there we go. There's little plastic pegs that need to snap in. Let me actually pop this screw in real quick while I have it. And we will slowly but surely get everything mounted back on. Okay, so there's that one. These ones don't have a pin, but this one does. We'll use the pliers to adjust the plate just a touch. Still a little bit below it. It's gonna be a little bit of a scooching. There we go. That one's good, so let's pop a screw in. There we go. All right. I'm feeling a little better about that. Let's make sure that my theory is correct and we can install these later. They do seem to have little sockets that they need to fit into, so let's just make sure that that all lines up correctly. There we go. Cool, got one side in. Let's pop the other side in before we tighten anything down too far. And 2. Okay. Great. Let's get those long screws in on those guys. Should be these. Okay. And another. Then let's, before we get any further, let us test to make sure that all the stabilizers are not binding up, because, oops, this must be not, no, this is not the right screw. Oh yeah, it is. It is the flat-headed one. Yeah, we just need to make sure that everything is traveling smoothly. Sounds good, Grayson. Good to see you. I'm sure I will see you around fairly soon. All right, let's grab a couple switches and we'll pop those in where they're needed. And we'll toss on a couple of keycaps and give her a tester root. We already have the spacebar out. Let's make sure that still works. It does. Now there's a little bit of rattling noise you can hear, but that's because there are currently loose parts on the assembly. Once I get all the screws ratcheted down and everything is in place, we shouldn't hear any more of that. There's a couple more 2U keycaps. Well, they all are functioning correctly. So let's get the rest of the screws in and then we'll give it a listen, because they're a little bit rattly as is. But that should be rectified once we have all these screws back in. All right. 4 sides are on. That should actually help quite a bit with the rattling sound, because I think, yeah, that was one of the rattliest parts of the whole assembly. Okay. And then let's get these guys back in. Okay. A few more of these to go. Okay. I think everything is attached correctly. Let's do a quick inspection. The PCB and plate assembly does indeed appear to be assembled. So, and sandwiched correctly. So let's give one more listen. Not bad. Nice. That spacebar stabilizer sounds nice. So, the next step will be to put the gaskets on the housing. So let me set this assembly aside for the time being. It's getting really hot in here. Let me get this jacket off. Hey, welcome back, Duck. I'm currently struggling with my jacket. Okay. So, the 2 pieces in question are going to be this top housing, which has very squished, as we saw before, gaskets, and this bottom assembly. These are going to be Novel Keys Creams. A classic. Unbeatable. Well, maybe they're beatable. I don't know. Right? So we got to catch you up to speed, my guy. We got the stabs in. These are the Durock V2 stabs, and they are tight. Holy moly. It was very difficult to get the plate on. This is the aluminum stock plate. Getting it on over top of those new stabs as opposed to the goat stabs was quite difficult. So here's hoping we don't need to go diving for more. But having said that, let us put some more gaskets on. Because if it's worth gasket mounting, it's probably worth over gasket mounting, huh? Yeah, I know Teja was saying that he had to actually shave down the sides of the stabs, I think. I don't think he messed with the plate, but he did say that the polycarb plate did not have those tolerance issues, presumably just because it's really flexible. But this is the alu plate, and we're rocking and rolling with it. So yeah, we're going gangbusters on the gaskets today, and we will be. We're only 44 minutes into the stream, and I'm already potentially done with stabilizer work. That's what you get for doing them ahead of time. Ah, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, hey, it's just one of those things where it's like I can complain about something, and I will, but they gotta do, like, something's gotta give if you're making it affordable, right? Like, you can't just make something cost less for free. So, I think, especially with a company like Glorious that seems like they want to do right by their customers very much, like, I have a feeling that they'll probably come out with GMMK Pro like round 2 or something, or 2.0, that addresses some of these issues. But I truly don't think they were like, I don't know, maybe they're not sloppy or something, but just like, you know, you got to do what you got to do to save a buck if you're trying to make an affordable product. So I'm very much willing to overlook issues like that for a product like this, because catering to the audience that's going to replace the stabilizers wholesale is not really what this board is for. So that's fine by me. I will heave and huff and puff and get that plate on. All right. So, right? That's the thing. It's like they're kind of separate worlds, as weird as it is, you know? It's like all the other keyboards Glorious has made kind of are not even in the same stratosphere as what custom keyboard enthusiasts want, right? So when they dip their toes in, you can't expect them to bat 1,000 on their first try, but they did very, very, very well. So props to them, credit where credit is due. Let's cut this down to size. It's a small boy. There you go. All right. Oh, come on. There we go. You can't quite cut a gasket in half to get those two side ones. You gotta spudge it a little bit. That's okay. Do one more for the top. then we'll do another set of gaskets on the top side, because those ones were also kind of needing help. They get squished down, you know how it is. I mean, hey, it's really cool that they included another set. It's pretty neat. Okay. So, we got the bottom gaskets. We're not using bottom foam, at least for now. I can always put it back in. What I would like to see from Glorious, unrelated to any of the like mechanical issues, would be an actually E-white version. Because I don't like silver. But their Glacier White, or whatever they called it, was not white. It was silver. Ooh. Let's get an alpha keycap on here just to give it a preemptive listen. I still have more gaskets to install on the top side, but 4. Now, creams are inherently a little bit scratchy, even lubed. I think I mentioned this already. So the name of the game on this board is going to be break-in, both for the mod I did on the stabs, just to have that feeling 100%, and also for the switches. But all that means is that you just get to use your board, right? Not a bad deal. But yeah, dude, I don't know. Silver, I've never been a fan. I like gunmetal, like this tofu that I have here. I know it looks kind of silver from this camera angle, but it's like a gunmetal, or space gray, right? That's what Apple calls it. I like that. But I've just never been a big silver guy. Even something like the Surface lineup, right? They're the like magnesium alloy that's kind of like a matte gray. It's like it's one step away from being silver, but I actually like that a lot. But yeah, just silver, you can miss me with that. Planning on making a pink one and an orange one. Okay, I do like orange. E-yellow/orange is cool. I tend to not buy those because it's like a crazy pair of sneakers, you know? I'm a bit of a sneakerhead, right? You get like the Tokyo Biohack Jordans. This is an oddly specific example, but they're a weird colorway of a Jordan 1 that's really cool. I've had the opportunity to buy them, but I never have, because it's like, what are you going to wear with that? I don't know. But yeah, it is what it is. It's I think with key caps, there's a lot of good yellow sets, like Serica. MT3 Serica is really cool. Also, something dark like Oblivion would look great. Dude, right? I'm working on building shelves for my new house to show off my sneaker collection. Pending wife approval, that is. But, you know, I don't know. I definitely have shoes that I don't or rarely wear outside. It's like, check that forecast. Did it rain today? Did it rain recently? Is it going to rain? Where am I going? You know? Talking about first world problems earlier. Holy cow. But, you know, it's cool. I feel like sneakers are definitely artwork that you get to wear. How cool is that? And it's honestly very similar to the keyboard community sometimes, where it's like, this is a beautiful keycap set, but it's ABS. So am I going to type on it? Maybe not as much. Not as much as a PBT set, at least. Yeah, for sure. Although, here's something I've noticed, is that in the keyboard community, I don't know that I've ever seen, and maybe you have, Duck, but I don't know that I've ever seen a GMK keycap set resell for less than like the group buy price. But I've definitely seen like Jordans resell some of them for less than asking, just if they weren't like a super hype colorway or something. It's like, but yeah, I don't know. Like for instance, I have GMK Classic Blue. Not a bad keycap set, but I'm just not as into it as I was when I first got it. And I don't think it was very hype at all. But I'm considering selling it, and I'm seeing base kits getting sold for not a ton more, but definitely more than the initial asking. So, I don't know. Maybe it's all anecdotal and that it doesn't universally apply, but I feel like if I was to purely try to make some money off of a hobby, I would probably buy a keycap set over a sneaker. Not to mention the fact that for a sneaker, you usually need to like win a raffle versus a keycap set, you need to wait a year. Kind of two separate things. You know? Holy crap, is it hard to win shoes on the sneakers app. Yeah, I agree. I've seen all kinds of like really poor condition GMK sets, and I've even seen people posting on Mech Market who are like, I've got $200, I just want a GMK set, which is crazy, but it happens. So that's when I swoop in with Classic Blue and say, hey, can I interest you in a set that I waited a year for? That's a great idea. Does that make it even more like a hype beast community though? I feel like a lot of people in the keyboard community are trying to avoid the whole hype beast thing, but I don't know. It is what it is. And I agree, Mech Market is very confusing. The fact that you gotta like DM a dude and you gotta know what all these acronyms mean, and if you wanna post there, you gotta like know the language almost. Like it's a whole thing. You gotta have a timestamp. It's like it took me a long time to pick up the courage to post on there because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if I'm gonna get flagged. I don't know anything about anything. You know, I would recommend a couple websites. It depends. Actually, first, what are you shopping for? Like, are you looking for keycap sets, like group buys, or are you looking for in-stock stuff right now? We could just call it Luber, Duck Detective. It's Uber for lubing. I'll bill you later. In-stock stuff. I think Divinity is one that I swear by. They have not a ton of keyboards, but they have a decent selection of keycaps. They also have stabilizers, lubes, things like that. That's pretty good. Prime KB is where I usually get a lot of stuff, like stabilizers. I usually get stabilizers and switches there. Oh, interesting. They have. I'm looking at their site right now. They got some interesting TTC. This macro pad uses TTC switches. They're not necessarily the greatest, but Durock screw and stabs with the smoky colorway alpaca edition. That's adorable. I should get some of those. They're cool. Novel Keys sometimes has stuff in stock. What do they have in stock right now? Yeah, they got some switches in stock, so that's a decent place. As far as keycaps, oh, interesting. They have this PBT black and white set. That's not bad. I do like Novel Keys PBT sets, but they've just got the one. So yeah, as far as the Gingham, I like that board too. Yeah, yes, KBD Fans is that's the other one I was going to mention. So they They have a lot of stuff in stock. You just gotta wait a while and pay for shipping. But they're probably gonna have the most, I would say. Also, mechanicalkeyboards.com has a lot of pre-builts if that's what you're looking for. But if you're just looking for parts, yeah, KBD fans. Let's see. Actually, hold on. Let me pull up my. Let me switch this away so I don't accidentally dox myself. But I have a list of vendors I've purchased stuff from. Let me check. Who do we got? AliExpress will have knockoffs of stuff if you're looking for something cheap and are willing to wait a while. Board Source, that's a good one. If you're looking for weird stuff, these guys have like corn, macro pad, smaller stuff, weird layouts. I built the Rev Wing already on stream. Yeah, the corn. I built the macro pad on stream. Ortho stuff. So if you're looking for something weird, Milky Blue, interesting. I hate clicky switches, but that's kind of cool. So yeah, they have a lot of interesting stuff. Let's see who else we got. Glorious, obviously. Drop is annoying, and I don't like them very much. So I you know, take it with a grain of salt. But I know they have in stock GMK sets on rotation, which is something I've never seen before. I know they're planning to keep GMK laser just on constant rotation, which is wild because that's a super popular one. So RIP to anyone who was holding on to an unopened GMK laser set trying to make money off of it. But yeah, those would be yes, they do. I don't know, not a fan, but it is what it is. But yeah, that'd be my recommendation. Omnitype does a lot of mostly group buys. The Key Company, I'd maybe stay away from them if you're getting a desk mat or a keyboard or something, but it depends. It depends on what you're getting. If you're getting switches, you know, I've actually had a great experience with them getting me new switches because the Kiwis were supposedly bad. I mean, I haven't had issues with mine, but apparently the Kiwis had some issues, and so they replaced them for free. I had 125 Kiwis that I had bought, and they're sending me out another batch. So basically, I just got a free set of Kiwi switches. So yeah, I don't know. Zeal PC, if you really want to pay a lot for some overhyped. Although, are they even that hyped anymore? I feel like the Zeal hype has gone down a lot. Yeah, so with the tangerines, you have to send them a video proving that your tangerines weren't working. But with the Kiwis, they sent me an email, and then I just clicked a link to place my order, which was free shipping, free switches, and then yeah. So yeah, Zeal PC, honestly, maybe don't mess with them. But regardless, that's not what I'm here to do, is rag on companies. I like a lot of companies. Yeah, Novel Keys. Oh, one more that I want to give a huge shout out to that I really like, P3D Store. They tend to more so just make cases for existing stuff, but oh my word, they're nice. Like if you've got like a sink, which is from who makes the sink? I suddenly can't remember, but yeah, or a corn, for instance. You can get like a gasket mounted acrylic stacked case. They're super nice. I built a Prime E in one of their cases. I built a Barleycorn in one of their cases. So highly recommend these guys. They're super responsive too on Discord, and they're really, like, they sent me a plate that wasn't quite the right cutout, completely refunded me for it, no questions asked. It was like, they're great guys. So P3D Store, huge shout out to them. So anywho, I could ramble on forever about vendors that have annoyed me and have not annoyed me, but yeah, anyways. All right, so here's where we're at. I have replaced the gaskets. I have pulled out the center standoffs. I have pushed the plate over the stabilizers, which are replaced. They're Durock V2 Holy mods. And then I put on all the screws holding the plate and the PCB assembly together, but only 4 of the screws holding the bottom on, because that's what some guy on YouTube did. And it seems reasonable to me. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to populate this board with switches. I'm going to put keycaps on the switches, and I'm going to test it out a little bit. I can tell you right now, I'm hearing a touch of rattle on these 2 stabilizers, maybe even the left shift. So I might inject a little extra dielectric grease just to take up some of that slack and help us out a little bit. You can, it's not ideal, but since I don't think I'll be able to get this plate back off, you can kind of posthumously work with your stabs a little bit. But yes, thank you, Duck Detective. I do not like Zelios. I'm a tactile fan. I love kiwis, I love pandas, I love T1s. Holy pandas, that is. I have bobas on the way that I'm really excited about trying. I had never picked them up before, but they had a run of jet black bobas, and I was like, oh, I gotta get some of those. So I'll be testing those out soon. But I love me a good tactile switch, but Zelios are just not my bag. Like, they're fine, but they're expensive, and you can do way better. So, sorry. I might have just thrown away a theoretical sponsorship with Zeal PC, but I did not. They would not sponsor me, even if I begged them. I actually have never asked any companies to be, if I could be a brand representative, but maybe I should. I don't know how that works. How do I negotiate that? Not sure. I would, dude, Prime KB and P3D, those are like the two, and Board Source, probably. Those would be the three. And Divinity, those four. Give me those four. I'll represent you for free. I'm doing it right now. Also, tangent, but related because I'm working on the board. These switches are really soft. The housings are made of palm, which is a softer plastic, and it's actually, incidentally, my favorite plate material, but they're just soft. Like, I noticed when you toss them in the bag after you lube them, they don't make a clacky sound. They just kind of softly land on each other. It's very nice. I will say the Zeal PC switch that I used to want to buy was the Telios with the teal housing, but now that those mint switches came out from Dino Keys, the only reason I wanted them was for the aesthetic. So now I got something better, which is the turquoise mint switches. Right? They are turquoise, right? Am I remembering this correctly? But turquoise Telios are pretty, especially with GMK finer things. It's like a match made in heaven. But if there's an alternative switch that is turquoise, especially if it's a JWK recolor, I'm all over that. I would love that. Also, Zeal PC costs almost as much for shipping as KBD fans. And they're just in Canada. I mean, I don't know if it's just like a US import thing or what, but holy cow, did I have to pay a lot in shipping to get an order from Zeal PC. Why am I just sitting here ragging on them? That's not very polite. But I live so close to Canada. Come on, cut me a break. Give me cheap shipping. You know what I should also do that I have not done yet is test this board. I like inks. Black inks, those are really nice. Silent black inks is what I have in this board. Yellow inks are nice. I have some on a candy bar. I will say, the Key Company, right? They've got a bit of a reputation, but when they sent me a candy bar with the wrong plate, like the candy bar, let me pull it up. Candy bar keyboard. It has a left-handed version and a right-handed version. I'll show you. The left-handed version looks like this. Wow, that's a tiny photo. It looks like this, where it's got a numpad. It's like basically a 40% keyboard with a numpad that you can put on the left side, or you can put the numpad on the right side like this. But the I ordered this right-handed version, but then they sent me the right-handed PCB and the left-handed plate, which I contacted them the day I got it, which I'm glad I opened up the box because I wasn't planning on building it for a while, but I just wanted to look. And I emailed them and let them know, and I sent them a photo. And then the same day, they shipped out a replacement. And not only did they ship out a replacement plate, they also gave me the other PCB. So now I have a pair. I have a left-handed PCB and a left-handed plate, and a right-handed PCB and a right-handed plate. So, I mean, having said that, even though they sent me the wrong one, they were very snappy about it. Free shipping. I think they overnighted it to me too. It was like I had it immediately. So, you know, good for them. Good on them. I don't want to be super critical of anyone, because I know we're all just trying our best and stuff happens. But, you know, it is what it is. All right. Customer service goes a long way. I will say that. And the whole Kiwi thing is good customer service, that's for sure. Sounds good. Thanks for hanging out, Duck. Appreciate it. Hopefully I'll catch you on your next stream. Very nice. All right, let's listen to this enter key again. Oh, that's actually way better now that I got all the other switches in. Interesting. So is that one. Interesting. So something mechanically was rattling due to the fact that not all the switches were in. Because now these sound like $1 million. Well, there's no time like the present to put all the rest of these on. Got a little snack bag left over here of our remaining switches. All right, so we're gonna do the ultimate chaos move and just dump these out here, like I always do. Maybe someday I'll be prepared and I'll actually have kitted the switches that I needed, but today's not that day. But I know for a fact I don't need these switches, so we'll have a reject bin up here. 5. I think this keycap set is SA Dream Eater, which is a set from Mech Supply, which is a European proxy that did a group buy for this that I really like. I think they're a Pokemon theme, I'm guessing. Let's also hold on. Let's take a second and make sure that this keyboard works. I have not done anything in terms of the electronics to it other than when I pried off the top of the thing. I know these take a while to boot. Hello? Oh. Please hold. You know what I didn't do? I didn't reattach that daughter board when I put this back together. That was a scary moment. Let's do that real quick. Also, this bottom is beautiful, but it really is a fingerprint magnet, so I'm definitely gonna have to clean that with a microfiber. Now we do need to pull this knob. All right, and I think that I just need to get this screwed out of here. Yeah, there it is. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. This little daughter board basically moves the USB port onto this underslung part of it. So I just need to attach that. My bad. That was a panic moment for sure. I was like, how did this happen? Why is this not? There we go. Let's just drop it on for now and let's plug it in. Just for peace of mind. Hey! We've got life. You love to see it. Let's make sure the switches all work. Hello, F3. We'll check on that guy in a minute. My guess is a bent pin. Oh, that guy's not working either. We'll get him going. You always got a few bent pins, even on a hotspot board. Looks like K might be having some issues, and R as well. Okay, so first one would be F3. Pop that guy out and see what's up. Let's use some tweezers just to directly short that pin. Yep, it works. So let's pop this switch back in. The pins aren't bent, which is a little bit odd. There it goes. Strange. Oh, wait. That worked, but now it doesn't. Is it possible that the plate is a little bit elevated? It seems to be potentially the case. So switches sometimes are not making full contact. Okay. Because every socket that has not worked does seem to actually be functional. They just need to be pressed in hard enough. I'm assuming the same is true for this guy. There we go, delete. That's working now. So the only one that's not consistently working is the R key. Let's get some screws in before I push on them really hard to seat it fully. Alrighty. Cool. Now it is fully seated. Oh, that sounded money. It's so good. Alright, let's reset this. Okay, so it looks like they need to be pushed in decently hard to get them to work. Okay. These are all good. That R key. There we go. And the U key. All right, so it is just them being lifted up a touch, presumably because the plate is a little bit higher than normal due to the stabilizers. And it makes sense that it's more apparent around the edges. I think I'm taking a bunch of screenshots when I'm doing that. Yes, I am. Okay, so yeah, it makes sense that when you get closer to the middle where the switches are further from any of the PCBs, they'd be a little bit higher because they're further away also from the edges. All right. Just gotta make sure that R key's working. He's concerning me a little bit. I might try it again. Let's put the other screws in and see if that helps at all. I'll probably take them back out if it doesn't matter, but if it does matter, I'd like them to all be consistent. Because I did notice that it's bowing a little bit at the bottom. And I want to make sure the gaskets are fully squishing this sandwich together. Okay. All right. So the R key is still struggling a little bit. The 5 key is struggling a little bit. Now the 9 key is struggling a little bit. And they all will go eventually, you know. It's more just a question of like how hard you want to push. To get them to seat. That was a pretty hefty push, you know. But everything else seems to be working. R seems to be working. Five seems to be working. Now I also think that we can get the gaskets or the there we go. Everything else, the plate pushed down around the switches, that's what I'm trying to say. And the stabs, even from this position. So if this is an issue, I don't know that we need to fully disassemble this board, but it seems like it's doing all right. Okay. Cool. Great. Let's continue. Just adding these keycaps on. F6. Now, much like the Vial Bloom set, and actually like the cat specimen, excuse me, that we used on a recent build, these have kind of a gradient to them, which I very much like. So they'll have a sort of stripe down the middle, and you can see this is kind of the break point down here. I believe that's the eye. This is the first time I've mounted this set since I got it. Oh yeah, this is sounding poppy. Don't need the enter key. Don't need the numlock key. F1. Ah, the slash pipe. Can you tell I like the way this sounds? I can't stop spamming these keys. Let's do, I think it's Control Windows Alt. I want to say. W. Escape. I didn't get any novelties with this set, but they did have some really cute ones. I think this is another alt over here. Okay. We have, I believe these are, this would be page up here. There may be a shorter one, but I just want to remember. WERT, be this. QWERTY. This would be menu, which is kind of like Windows. Home end would be these guys. Here. Function, that's what we want. This doesn't really matter because I'm not sending this set to the client, but that's all right. I don't think I need these. Slash question mark, I do want. This. That's a numpad key. Don't need that. ASDF. Print screen was right here. 2, 3, 4. You can already start to see the slash of color going through the board, which is really cool. 2 delete keys. Pause. Numpad key. F8. Really pretty keycap set. If I haven't said so already. And I think SA sounds nice on this board. Like, I think that's a great choice. IO. Someone said something on the subreddit the other day that I thought was funny, which is that if a DSA keycap set is shiny, it feels cheap. But if an SA keycap set is matte, it feels cheap, which I think is funny. But I'm like, yeah, you're not wrong. I don't know why that is, but yeah, I like it when SA keycap sets are shiny, and I like it when DSA keycap sets have kind of a grit or a matte finish, like texture to them. So, don't know why that is. Here's a home. Double 0, 4. Insert. Here's an end. Appears to be the right profile. We just need to replace that giant page up key. Let's grab that off there, actually. Here's the control. There may actually be, yes. A correctly colored control. This guy. 2. CV. Numpad Z. Or Z. If that's how you get down. NM 6. Here's an alt that's correctly colored as well. So that means I just need to find a replacement key for this Windows key that's the right color. Here's a super. Yes. Cooking with grease. GH. This might be upside down. Not sure. The middle row on SA is hard to tell. Oh, this is, I have the wrong 2 here. This is the European one. Here's the correct 2 for the Freedom 2. Is that joke too old? Feels old. GHJKL. I think it is here. Here's this guy. It's a very comfy profile if you have a board that looks okay with the ridiculously high keycaps. I mean, if you haven't seen SA profile, look at how tall this is. You know what it reminds me of? Did anyone out there ever play that game where there's like a little crocodile and you open up its mouth and you push down its teeth one at a time, and like the mouth will suddenly close when the wrong it's like Russian roulette, right? One person will hit the tooth that makes the mouth close. These remind me of those teeth for some reason, and you push them down, and whoever gets bit, I guess, it scared me to death as a kid. I hated it. But yeah, there you go. That's what it reminds me of. F2. A, Q, 3. I realized I should just grab them based on the color. Like if they're a lighter color, they're most likely what I want. ASD. This looks like it's upside down based on the font. Let's see. I feel better about that font. I don't know. These are both numbers. It's a page down. Oh, it's a homing F key. We take those. It's kind of extra scooped. Again, this is not my board. I'm not going to be using it, but F10, got all the F row. 9, 0. P, G, it's an arrow key. Oh, it's the first arrow key I've seen. I believe it's this one. U, numpad, homing J. Just need the K now. B, that's too small. Here's the K. We need this guy here. That's the non-homing J. Asterisk for the numpad. Page up, that's the right height. Beauty. That's the wrong page down. This is the left and right arrow keys. And the down, I think, doesn't matter. And then this guy. Beautiful. Look at that. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, now that I have also the keycap set kind of doled out, is we're gonna do a sound or a speed test. And just see exactly how this thing sounds and if we need to make any improvements upon it. That is the goal of the day, is to make this thing sound like magic. First, I'm going to plug it in and check to make sure that all of the switches are working. So let's pull that scene up. So far, so good. Great. These all work. These work. That works. Yo. Everything be working. All right. Great, great, great. So the next thing is I'm going to punch in a little bit on this scene here, and we're going to pull up Ye Old Monkey Type. I'm going to move the mic down too. Everybody, children, class, let's listen in and hear what this keyboard has to say. Oops. I have the wrong scene. There we go. All right, this is the GMMK Pro with lubed NK creams, Durock V2 stabilizers with the Holy mod, aluminum plate, no bottom foam, but plate foam, and SA Dream Eater. All right. How did that feel? I liked it. I feel like that sounded good. Let me listen to it acoustically, because right now I'm just listening through the in-ears. Okay. Well, let's try something. Let's pull off some of the screws on the bottom and see how that sounds. Okay, let's pull these 4 out of the bottom. I hope that it doesn't detract from the rest of them actually, like the keys not firing, because it seemed like that was happening last time, but you know, we'll find out. That one should just drop out when I flip it over. Yep. All right, great. So let us check again. Come on, bud. There we go. All right. Let's do another sound test, shall we? Tell me if you can hear a difference. Okay, so this is the same thing, except I've removed some of the screws, 4 of them, from the middle and left the corners in. Okay, well, wow, apologies, I just whacked the mic. That sounded good. Let me listen to it acoustically now. To be honest, I don't really notice much of a difference. You know? Don't know. I think I'll put them back in for now, because I think it's easier to remove them than it is to try to like include them separately in shipping. But I would say that no case foam definitely sounds better than the case foam I had in the other GMMK Pro. And I would say that the stabilizers are way better. That's the biggest thing, I think, is replacing the stabs. It did cause some issues because we were using the aluminum plate. We just had to be a little bit more forceful. But I think end of the day, these stabs, absolutely worth it. They're so poppy. They're so crisp. One of the reference videos I got sent was the video of Teja typing on a Figel or Fiel, I don't know how you pronounce that. It's a tray mounted board that's kind of, I don't know. I think it's, in my mind, it's an overhyped tofu, but it sounds really good with Holy Pandas. I'll link it in the comments or in the chat really quick here. But here's the video. I mean, the space bar sounds really nice. It sounds a ton like that. The rest of the mods aren't quite so snappy, but that's because these are linear switches. But they're still snappy. Yeah. It also depends on how you type. Like if you type softly, it's actually a pretty quiet board. I mean, that's what we learned last time, right? The silent linears, this board was like in a library. But that space bar has a snap to it, the backspace, the enter. That's tasty. There's no rattle on the space bar either. I think this is a winner. Yeah, I think these creams and the stabs combined are just punching above their weight, as well as this board. It's a great board with the gasket mounts installed. I really like the way this is sounding, so. The other tough thing is that a sound test is only, it's a product of a microphone, right? So you could use the exact same keyboard and like, you could use 3 or 4 different microphones and they would all sound different. And that's something that I'm struggling with. I've noticed. I've gone back and watched the VODs for a lot of these streams. My mic's not even pointed at me. And I've noted that the boards definitely sound better in real life than they did in the VOD. Part of it's that I have a lot of noise in this room. I have 3 computers in here and you know, stuff going on at home, so it just there's noise. But I think you know, that aside, this really sounds good, and I think yeah, I'd like to get a different microphone and try some other sound tests at some point, and try to maybe revamp some of them, reprise them, pull up old boards and do repeated sound tests. And I've probably post those on my YouTube, which I think you can find a link to this way. There we go. There's my YouTube channel. So yeah, like all it is right now is just a VOD repository, but yeah, I think this board, it deserves a better sound test than I'm able to give it with this mic right now and the noise conditions, but it really does sound good. And also just keep in mind that when you're hearing sound tested boards like this online, or that gel or whatever else, it's coming through a microphone, so it's always different than in real life. There's all these little micro sounds and nuances that are, you know, part of a keyboard that kind of make up its personality. That's part of the reason why I think this sounds good without the case foam. Apiary, who's a keyboard builder, she's been doing this for years, has said like she likes to build a board without foam first and just let the case breathe a little bit, let it make whatever noises it's going to make, and then if you don't like those, go ahead and add in, you know, your foams and whatnot. But having said all of that, boy, I like this board. I like the sound. I think these SA keycaps make a huge difference, I've noted. Like on the reviews I've seen online, or the sound tests I've seen online, the SA keycaps always seem to come in clutch. So yeah, we got it done. We got the stabs in. I'll probably maybe do a little bit more tweaking offline, but yeah, packaging this up and shipping it back this week. So nice. What'd you find, Burnt Toast? And where did you find it? But yeah, it's a good board. I'm a fan. Do install the Glorious software. If you use this board, it helps. I think eventually it will be QMK compatible, but that will be through a firmware update. But if you don't know what you're doing with QMK, the Glorious core is way, 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 way better than not being able to configure it at all. Oh, no problem, my dude. Yeah, I was just asking what caps and switches you got. But anyways, let's see what all we got coming up. Like I said, next week I will technically be on vacation, so I may or may not actually be streaming. I will post on my Discord, which you can find here, if you are interested in knowing whether I'll be online. But I have a couple things coming up. I have an Absinthe I'd like to rebuild. I have a Discipline that I think would be fun to build. I have, let's see, what else do we got? These are all done, that's done. Oh, I have a NK65 Milkshake Edition that I'm gonna take apart and tune up. As well as a Basket Weave and a Narisu, both of which are Alice style boards. And then also what I've been teasing for a long time, which is that big old DOS keyboard that I want to rebuild too. So, having said that, I don't know what I'll be doing next week. Something chill. Probably not something super labor intensive if I am here, but maybe that Arisu, I'm not sure yet. Gatoron Ink Blacks. Nice. Yeah, for sure. Dude, Gat Ink Blacks, unsung hero of the keyboard community. That and every JWK recolor out there. Great switches, great money. You can't go wrong. Like, and if you like a deep thock kind of sound, Black Ink is like king of that. Ink Black or Black Ink, I don't know. Controversy there. But yeah, great switch. Very cool. So, yeah, anyways, I think that's all I have to say about this board. I really like it. Kind of hanging out, trying to see if... I do not see the client in the chat, but I will send him the VOD for this, and we can go from there. So, anyways, yeah, great board. I'm excited to see how the client likes it, but we will, yeah. I think that's all I got for stream tonight. So thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. Whether it's here on Twitch or you're on YouTube, I stream every Monday at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I believe that's, 4 p.m. Eastern. 6 p.m. MST to EST. Oh, that's 8 p.m. Eastern. I apologize. So yeah, I stream at 8 p.m. Eastern. You can do the math on that. But yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun. I love building keyboards. I love hanging out with you guys in chat. So feel free to hit me up on Discord if you ever have any keyboard questions or want a build done. But other than that, I've had a great time. So thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.